Are you a healer doing something other than your healing work? Today, I want to talk with you about this and have a really candid conversation because I really feel like it's important. In all my years as a teacher, at one point I was the on site director and the director of education for another school, not my own. And what I saw was many students come in, actually learn the work, really inspired and excited about the work that they were doing and the work they could bring out to the world. They get out there, some of them are very successful, and then others are not. Sometimes the healer just stops themselves in their tracks. And there are many reasons for this. Sometimes it's life circumstances that feels like they don't have the time to actually create their practice. So I want to talk about some strategies, some things that I did, and I'm not saying that what I do and what I did is actually going to be perfect for you, but I do want you to think outside the box. All right. So the first thing is that number one, if you are a healer, I don't care what kind of healing work you're doing. If you're helping other people, is it work that you would do for free? That's a great indicator that you are in alignment with your soul's mission. That is your work. I would honestly forget to charge people because I loved the work that I was doing so much. And at one point, I said to myself, I love this so much. I can't believe that people pay me for it. And it almost seemed too easy, you know. So I'll give you an example. I went one day with a friend of mine's husband, and I helped mix cement. I did not love it. It was really hot out, and I made $100. Then I learned how to do the work that I do. I worked for an hour, and I made $100. And I was like, wait a minute, isn't work supposed to be painful? No, it's not supposed to be painful. If you love mixing cement and you love working with your hands and you don't mind being outside in the heat, then that is your work. So here's the thing. Follow your heart, follow your passion. Do what you're meant to do on this planet. Everything else will follow. And yes, of course, it requires action steps. So now I want to just tell you a couple of things that I did when I was starting my healing practice. I had just learned how to do the work, and I started with polarity therapy, which is energy based body work. And I also donated much of my time, and we can call it donated my time, but I went into the school after I graduated, and what I did was I assisted in the courses. The reason that I did that is I wanted to take my knowledge even deeper. And so there was a win-win there. I was supporting the teachers, but I was also getting the education for a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time, different teachers. So I was getting different perspectives, and it was absolutely amazing. Just such an amazing year for me. Not only that, I was in the right place at the right time. See, there were students that were learning the work that I did. And while I was there, I was available to do sessions for them, which were required. They needed to receive them. The reason that a practitioner is receiving the work that they do is so that they get better at it. And in this line of work, because your energetic systems are how you're actually attracting clients, it's really important that you're receiving. And that was helpful. So all the time that I was at the school, just sitting there holding the energy of the space and helping students, I was doing that for no pay, but it was gaining a secondary education. So in a way, it was big time pay. Then I also had two kids that were going to college, and I was just transitioning from running my own business where I was making a lot of money with not a whole lot of effort. and I did love it. But the universe had a different calling for me, and it said, we need you to start doing healing work. And it said it in a way that actually required me to start taking a look at my own healing on a physical and an emotional level. And because I discovered the power of getting my energy. Needless to say, as I was just starting my holistic practice, was I making enough money to support my family? I was a single mom with two teenage kids, and one ready to go into college, the other one in high school in his senior year who would be going soon. So this was really pretty important that I figure out how am I going to bring in the extra money to do this. And so I looked for jobs that were no brainers. I didn't want something that was going to pull all of my energy away from my healing practice because my healing practice was the most important thing to me. And that's where I wanted most of my energy going. So, what I did in the meantime, as I was growing my practice, is I had experience as a manager in transportation at one point, which required that I have a CDL license and a passenger endorsement. So, fortunately for me, I was able to say, hey, you know what I can do? I'll go drive a bus. So, I drove a bus in the morning. I just did a morning route, and that gave me some cash income. And then I worked my practice in the afternoon. So, what I'm saying here is we have to get creative. We have to think outside the box. Do you like dogs? Can you do some dog walking? Anything that you can do that just fills in the gap to create that extra income while you're building your practice. It all takes action and it takes us thinking outside the box. We can't just sit in a room and go into meditation and say, well, you can do this, but the action is required. Because I highly recommend that you do this. You want to stay aligned and just visualize yourself with so many clients calling, coming, seeing you, and you doing your healing work and just stay aligned to your heart, right? Stay aligned to the mission. The universe will provide for you as long as you are listening to the guidance of what is the next action step that I need to take right now. Now, in all of my healing career, which is over 25 years now, I want to share with you the times that I got pulled off my own path. One of them was in 2008. And if anybody remembers that time, if you're old enough to remember 2008, it was very tough. And fortunately for me, the universe actually gave me some guidance as to what I needed to do before that crash even came. Of course, we didn't know it was coming, and that saved me. That saved me big time. Now, it also required that because I literally had nothing, all of the teaching when I was working for the other school was getting canceled. Why? Because people didn't have the money, they didn't have the finances to go to school. So the teaching was getting canceled. My clients were actually getting laid off from their jobs. They no longer had the money to continue to see me. And I thought, now what? That's a scary moment in time that makes you panic and you wonder, where am I going now? So, one of the things that I feel I was very blessed is I sat down and I did a little research and I started studying metaphysics at that time. And all I can say is that saved me big time again. The metaphysics taught me how to use the power of thought in order to attract all of what I required. And, bills kept showing up in the mail. There was no money coming in at the time. And I started to create a mindset of checks are in the mail. And believe it or not, I created checks coming in the mail because I was focused on it. So even though I wasn't seeing clients, I was still working. I spent 8 hours a day studying my lessons, applying the knowledge, and starting to manifest. And I started creating an income again. Eventually, things started to shift. We shifted out of that. That's great. I'm back on track. Well, the universe doesn't only test us once in a lifetime, does it? It tests us many times. And we need to make sure that we are following our guidance and staying connected to the true mission. I remember just talking to the universe and saying, there's nothing else that I want to be doing that is more important than supporting people, whether that be teaching them or working on them, working with their emotional balance, their physical well being. It was so important to me, and it still is. Both of those things are. And as we continue to grow in our practice and evolve ourselves and also receive the work, that's really important that we're receiving the work, staying aligned to it, we naturally begin to attract that energy to us. So that's a big part of your practice. And then there are some really foundational techniques that keep us aligned. But it all comes down to our action. So I want to share with you one more place. In 2000, I believe COVID all happened in 2020 or 19. I'm not really sure exactly. But I will share with you at that time I had two brick and mortar places, both holistic centers, one in Sturbridge, one in Boylston, and life was good. I was really excited about the second location that I had opened up. It was doing really well. I had been open only 6 months, and COVID hit. And what happened after that? Crickets in that brand new location. Brand new equipment, everything. And it's almost like what just happened? It's like the rug just got pulled out. But there is a good ending to that story, so I'm going to continue it. But I realized that as people are not coming into your brick and mortar because they feel they can't, and everybody's masked up, they're staying home. If they're not coming in, you're not in business. You're basically just renting a space. So I did that from March to September with two locations. And as you can probably imagine, all that does is drain your bank account because people are expecting their rent money and you're still paying for your equipment, even though nobody's coming in to use it. So, what do you do next? I had to close both locations. Now, I was not devastated by having to do it. A little disappointed? Of course, anybody would be, especially because it was really exciting to get that second location opened up. What that did is there was a moment where I wasn't quite closed yet, but I received a phone call from a company that sells insurance. And they were telling me that they're recruiting and you can work at your own hours. You can work from home. It all sounded really good. Hey, I'm closing the business. Um, yeah, it sounds like something maybe I can do. So, anyway, I invested a lot of time in studying, time in taking the exam. I got certified, time in training. By the time I was just about done with training, I realized that I absolutely did not like what I was doing. And I needed to stay aligned and stay focused to the truth of who I am, even if it meant that I will put some of my work out there for free, which I did do. I had Zoom meetings. Hey, everybody's home, everybody's available on Zoom. Then I started creating meditation groups, and I did charge, and people were paying to come. And then I received a call from somebody randomly telling me that they were overflowing with retreats in Costa Rica. What that has to do with me, I don't know, but somehow he pulled me into the whole concept. And what happened from there is I started doing retreats. So I no longer have any overhead. My practice shifted greatly, but that is the idea and the concept of going with the flow when we're in our own business. Where do we go next? It doesn't look the same for, I look at my whole 25 plus years in practice as an instructor. There have been many shifts along the way. There have been going from a shared office space to a space on my own, to a space where I'm also renting rooms to other practitioners, to opening up a center, to opening up another center in a strip plaza, big moves to doing the work from home. I've done it every which way but loose, and it's all been an amazing journey because we're shifting with times. We're shifting with what's happening in the world. We're shifting with what's happening in our own personal life. What works for us at that particular time? All of these things taken into consideration and just staying tuned in with guidance. What is the next move? So, needless to say, I, along with many other practitioners, have been in practice for many years and have done it successfully. And you can too. Just don't squeeze yourself in a box or operate from a place of fear. When we operate from a place of fear, what happens is we squash our true mission in this life. And that place of fear is not operating from a place of faith, a place of trust that this universe truly does have your back. As long as we stay tuned in and we hold the mindset that, yes, I am successful. Yes, I am attracting clients to me who are ready for my level of work. Also important, right? I'm going to end here, but I would invite you before I do close is to go down in the link and check out the course that I have. It's called Out of the Box Success. And what it is, it's designed for you so that you don't have to stumble through like I did in starting my own practice. And I shouldn't say that I had to stumble through completely because I actually had another business prior to coming into my own practice. However, some things are different and you do have to do things a little differently. The business course that I've designed is specifically for healers, for the body work, for the coach, for the therapist. Because, as healers, we love what we do, but we don't necessarily love all the business stuff. We just want to be doing our work. I know you hear me, okay? I know you hear me because I get it. You know, do I would I, the times that I have to sit down and actually prepare my documents for my tax return is not my favorite time. What would I rather be doing? I'd rather be working on my clients. I'd rather be helping somebody. There's just so much satisfaction from that place, more so than completing my profit and loss statement. But it is so important. And our profit and loss is so important because if we're not staying tuned in with the financial aspect of our business, then that's affecting how many clients we're actually seeing. We really need the knowledge on both sides. So, my course is designed to walk you through step by step and to help you to just stay focused. And you can go slow, you don't have to speed through it. It's not something that you're like, I got to get this whole business course done in order to be successful. That is the furthest thing from the truth because you can start to experience success just by starting with one simple step, and that is, what is my mission statement? How do I want to work with people? Who do I want to work with? So you're sitting there and you're answering some really specific questions that help you to really tune in to what it is, who it is, why you do it. And you get super, super clear that not only with yourself, but the energies that you're putting out to the universe for what you're attracting to you. All right. Stay tuned for the next video. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Share to a friend if you would like. And I will see you in the next video where I focus in a little bit more on the business side of things as well as the metaphysics of it all. Okay? Helping you to bring it all together. All right, many blessings to your success. I'll see you next time. Tina Bridgettina here. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please go ahead and like and subscribe. If you are interested in taking any courses, please go into the description, bridgettinienergyschool.learnworlds.com, and I will see you there. Many blessings to you.